We'll bring this meeting to order. Show Commissioner Kawish is absent. Please join me for the pledge and prayer.
With allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice.
Heavenly Father, show us as we make decisions for the citizens of Fremont County. Keep us mindful of those that are suffering from illness and also of loss. Guard over our soldiers, sailors across this great nation and the world. Protect them from any harm. In Jesus' name, amen. Agenda.
We're gonna add an executive session for potential litigation at 11:50. Then this afternoon, the budget hearings, the ISS, we are gonna move to an date. Will we be releasing anybody?
Kevin did get some of that done, but I haven't got to visit with him about it, so I think it's better to wait on that one.
Okay.
He did get most of it done.
Can we move everybody up?
You're sitting here, you can be here at 1:30.
Yeah.
We can reach out to the sheriff and extension. Everybody should be in the building except for sheriff, so we'll check and see if we can do that.
Okay, thank you. Commissioners.
Motion to approve the agenda with the change.
Second.
Been moved and seconded to approve the agenda with changes. Further discussion. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion passed. Minutes.
With approval of minutes.
Second.
Been moved and seconded to approve the minutes. Further discussion. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed. We have some bills that need to be paid.
Move for approval of bills.
Second.
Been moved and seconded to approve payment of those bills. Further discussion. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed. We have no Title 25 signature.
Mr. Chairman, we have a letter from Fremont County Commissioners of Bureau of Justice Assistance, just acknowledging that we're not any part of the grant that was given to the Riverton Police Department. Move to approve your signature on that.
Second.
Been moved and seconded to approve my signature on Bureau of Justice Assistance, specifying that, like the motion said. Further discussion. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed.
Mr. Chairman, we have a board cut parallel public utility right of way easement application from Larry Whittington, senior engineer at the Du Bois Telephone Exchange for property on Union Pass Road. Vote to approve.
Second.
Been moved and seconded to approve the board cut on Union Pass Road. Further discussion. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed.
Mr. Chairman, we have another board cut right of way easement application for Warm Springs Creek Road. Move to approve.
That's it.
Been moved and seconded to approve a board cut on Warm Springs Road. Further discussion. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed. That's mine.
You want to do this later? Is he on the agenda?
He just wanted to talk about it. It's the
I'm gonna have Heather.
Okay. You're chat about that.
Certainly. Thank you, Chairman, Commissioners. What you have,
You'll introduce yourself, please.
I'm the Emergency Management Assistant Coordinator. My name is Heather Holbert. And what you have in front of you today is the Emergency Management Performance Grant. This is something that we received almost annually from Wyoming Office of Homeland Security. It is their pass-through for Department of Homeland Security at the federal level. We strictly, at this point, are using it to help fund the salaries within our department. And it does have locations for 2 signatures, one on a contact listing and then one on the grant itself. It has been through the Wyoming AG's office and Fremont County Attorney's office.
Questions?
Hey, Mr. Chairman, I move that we approve the grant award agreement between Wyoming Office of Homeland Security and Fremont County.
Second.
We moved and seconded to approve the Homeland EMP grant from Homeland Security. Further discussion? All those in favor?
Right.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And Mr. Chairman, we have a board cut parallel public utilities right away easement application for 924 Horse Creek Road, 1068 Horse Creek Road, and 8 Horse Creek Ranch Road. Move to approve.
Second.
Been moved and seconded to approve bore cut on Horse Creek Road. Further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed.
Mr. Chairman, we also have an approach access application for Brooks Gap Road, for ingress egress to storage office yard. Move to approve.
Second.
Moved and seconded to approve egress permit for on Crooks Gap Road. Further discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion passed.
Mr. Chairman, we have some correspondence from our maintenance supervisor, Jared Hall. You want to just talk about that point during your session? We'll just pull this. Yeah. Vehicle maintenance accident report, we'll hold that too. Mr. Chairman, we have a memorandum of understanding between the University of Wyoming Commissioners and Commissioners of Fremont County. It's our normal MOU. Move to approve.
Second.
Moved and seconded to approve the MOU between the University of Wyoming and the Fremont County Commissioners. Further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed.
I should have mentioned this during discussion. Mr. Chairman, one thing I did notice on that, it does talk about periodic visiting of the University of office down there. They're pretty sporadic. They're not really periodic, so it'd be good to just put a plug in there. It's like, be good to see you once in a while, guys.
I'll talk to the extension.
And Mr. Chairman, we have Commissioner's record of procedures.
That we'll have that discussion when he comes in for his budget.
There you go.
There you go.
Priority mail.
That's Mr. Chairman. Have a letter from Andrew Baldwin, which in response for check rate letter. And then second thing is monthly review report for public. And that's it.
For the response to Alec,
Check rates.
Andrew Baldwin.
From Andrew.
As we stated before, we're waiting on, we've asked the Attorney General's office to give us an opinion on Chuck Gray's demand letter, and we're currently waiting on that. We will take that under advisement. Okay. Public comment. Just to remind everyone that you have 2 minutes. After 2 minutes, we will ask you to end your discussion and get back so somebody else can talk. Sarah.
Sometimes it picks up sound well and sometimes it doesn't.
Right.
Good morning, commissioners. My name is Sarah Riley. I'm from Lander. I just wanted to speak to you this morning about the proposed policy changes from the library board. Mostly outlining the procedural concerns at this point in time, because I feel like my content concerns can be handled within a 45-day comment period. But the library board held a special meeting on May 12th, excuse me, where they did give their adequate 8 hours notice to let the community know that this meeting was happening. They then decided to move forward with a policy that they have not yet received guidance on from the county's attorney, which I think is really risky, especially when you're talking about policies that incorporate other established federal laws. But they chose to do that. The first that the public saw any information on this 45-day public comment period was when it was published on County 10 on May 14th. However, the statement issued by the library board says that the public comment period begins on May 13th, which is prior to any notification being made to the public. That information regarding public comment was not available on the library page until website until either late Friday or early Saturday. It was also not published in print until May 16th. And my understanding, and I could be wrong, is that public notice for public comment period has to be in print before it's considered the beginning of the public comment period. So just would ask that you look into that. Like I said, I could be wrong. But what I'm asking from you all is to maybe have a conversation with the library board about making sure that everything is done properly, so that it doesn't get you all into any trouble along the way. So that's all my concern for that today. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Karen Wardner? Am I right?
Very good, thank you. A lot of people have struggled with that.
I had trouble with Karen.
It's early.
Yeah.
Good morning, Commissioner. My name is Karen Warner. I'm from Riverton. I will be reading this because I don't speak off the cuff very easily. I respectfully encourage you to be extremely thoughtful in the upcoming appointments to the library board. Our public libraries are an important asset to Fremont County, and board members should be committed to supporting the library, its staff, and its mission. Currently, there are some board members who do not appear to actively support the library director, or the staff. You only need to watch one of the past 5 or 6 board meetings to see the concerning issues. Rather than recognizing the many positive contributions and services our libraries provide, their focus often seems to be centered on their own agendas and incorporating their own moral bias. That's concerning because effective board leadership should be grounded in supporting and advancing the organization they are appointed to serve. As you consider new and potentially reapplying applicants, I encourage you to look for board members who are committed to supporting the library for all of our community and not reappoint unsupported candidates. I hope you will prioritize individuals who will support the library's mission and program, help identify funding opportunities and community partnerships, participate and promote library events and outreach, help the libraries continue to grow and improve for county residents. I've also heard some concerns expressed about possible biases against public libraries within the county commission. I sincerely hope those concerns are unfounded. I believe that they are, and that all appointments will be made with the goal of supporting the organizations and communities they serve. Thank you for your time, consideration, and for your service to Fremont County.
Thank you. Margie. Marius?
Marius.
Marius. Oh, I got
That's all right.
I got Margie right.
You're doing great. Good morning, commissioners. Thank you for the opportunity to speak here today. I have comments on 2 issues that I hope will be given serious consideration by this commission. First is this disruption within our Fremont County libraries. One of our freedoms in this country is to seek the information we choose in dialogue and in the written word. Fremont County Director of Libraries, Anita Marple, has always defended that right, and I now defend her. Her experience should be considered in all library matters, and the spur-of-the-moment library board meeting should not have been called to take advantage of her being out of town. In addition, perhaps it would be prudent to wait for the county attorney's opinion on proposed changes before rushing forward with them. Library users like myself don't want turmoil overshadowing what should be a peaceful and unintimidating experience. I hope that in the near future, you will appoint people to the library board who want to support our libraries and not pick them apart. Secondly, I would hope that you remember the process that gave our native neighbors their own district in representation in Cheyenne. We should all be proud of that decision. I urge you to disregard the insulting suggestion by Wyoming's Secretary of State to dismantle District 33. Thank you. That's all I have today.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Are you from Lander?
Yes, ma'am.
Karen,
Thank you.
Karen Wetzel, I got that one right.
Good morning, Chairman and Commissioners. Karen Wetzel, Lander. I just wanted to state this morning my feelings on the Secretary of State's letter to both the commissioners and to the governor. I believe that the Secretary of State wrote those letters because he wants to follow the law, and that is following the Constitution. And in my opinion, people's feelings or what they want or what they don't want is a non-issue because we are tasked with following the law. Boy, I didn't bring my notes. We're tasked with following the law. Everybody took an oath when they stepped into these seats to follow that law. They took an oath to the Constitution. And I think that we should follow it. I don't believe that it's going to hurt anybody on the reservation by having an open district or an at-large commission. There was a person of American Indian descent that was sitting on the commission when that decision was being discussed or came down. So there's no reason why another American Indian or a Black person or a white person or an Asian person could not be seated on the commission, in the commissioners' chairs. We're all equal, and that would make no discrimination. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, that's it for public comment. Steve?
Morning, Commissioners. Comment on planning. Here this morning with a SOC request change for small wastewater specialist. The current small wastewater specialist is paid at a rate of $59,100. And that $59,100 is at the intersection of the 10 and 25% upper end level 3, lower end level 25, or level 1 of 25%. Our small wastewater specialist has been with the county for going on 15 years and meets all of the requirements of our job description for that was redone for SOCs, and he is at a point in his career where he should be at the upper end of our SOC valuation. We've been spent a significant amount of time in the last 5 or 6 years, actually 8 years, with training and trying to get his job description and pay aligned with what he actually does and what the SOC description is. And it would be our suggestion that we adjust his salary by $5,000, which is 8.6% raise over his current pay rate, but is still at the lower end of the level 1 of the 25% for the SEC for valuation.
Commissioners? Questions?
Only question, since we've received a bunch of these and we've approved some already, not to change that, but it would be nice to, we had a budget of around $300,000 this year for SOC adjustments. We're still in this calendar year. Is to have some sort of running total of what we're doing here. Just it's incrementally, I'm thinking to myself all the time. where are we? And not to leave somebody out in the end, but almost to encourage them to get it in now. And so we don't end up in, at the end of the month and now we're faced with a budget issue, which you don't want to be in, and we will deal with it. But at the same time, that certainly comes to mind about how we keep it total of that. I don't know, Julie, if you have, as a budget officer, if you have a thought on that.
Mr. Chairman, being the conservative I am, and you know how I have followed this all along, is I don't give anybody any money unless their budget's gonna go over budget. So as we move to June, I will be looking at everybody's budget. I continue to look at their budgets, see how they're doing, check in with them. I do make notes of who you've approved, knowing that they may have to dip into that 300,000, but as a rule, if their budget, for some reason, they were low somewhere else, then I just let it flow and I don't add to it, if that makes sense. So yes, I'm watching that and I should have an idea like mid-June, because I'll have to do a budget hearing of who I need to adjust. And it'll be for that reason and it'll say that. So.
So
So
Chairman Steve, is this gonna push over your budget this year?
this year,
Okay.
no.
Okay.
I would suggest that, and this is hindsight, then I would suggest probably for the next year's budget that perhaps there's a little bit more information disseminated to everybody so that we're all playing with the same deck of cards. It seemed to me, and I'm not totally involved with the county commissioners and their edicts for budgeting, but the indication to us was that the budgets were supposed to be maintained the same and that the SOCs would be viewed at a different date, at a different time, specifically for that. It wasn't until just recently that it came to my attention that probably we should have this put in so that it can meet this year's budget. And I just think that this is an important part of our annual activities at budget time, and it would be better to have a little bit better guidance on what we can and can't do or should and shouldn't do prior to the budget, so that we have a little bit better understanding of how those should be implemented. That being said, I'm here today. And we're ahead of the final budget stuff. So I just wanted to make sure that I didn't get left out of the discussion as well.
Further questions?
No, Mr. Chairman.
Yes.
I do have a statement though.
Yeah.
What Steve proposes here, this specialist is the only one in the state that is qualified, it has qualifications. And Fremont County needs to be proud of that. We've really leaps and bounds in that department ahead of anybody in the state. So that's fine.
Yeah, and he's a mentor for a number of other counties. So they've come to visit our department and spend time here learning how to perform that job.
Plus he's writing the manuals for a lot of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, as well.
So, Commissioners, what would you like to do?
Mr. Chairman, I move to approve this SOC request to move the current rate of pay for the small wastewater position from 59,100 to 64,100.
Second. Then moved and seconded to approve the SOC adjustment increase as suggested in the motion. Further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Amanda's not here yet. Let's do the scholarships. Jared, what the? Let's go ahead with your SOC adjustments. Well,
Okay.
Well, before we do that scholarship.
Some accidents to go over too.
Okay. Let's do this SOC adjustment.
Mr. Chairman?
Yeah.
Would you make sure everybody pulls their mics? I know you guys ask me to all the time. I heard last week from people on Zoom that they can't hear most of us. They're like right by our mouths.
First SOC adjustments for my Roderick Bath. He's taken over the foreman position in Lander. And he shows up every day and it has knowledge that's very helpful for us. He used to work in a dealership and a body shop, and I would like to raise his from 50,900, $3,100 to 62,000.
We've done evaluations, I see.
Yeah. I do evaluations at least once a year. I try and do them every 6, but it hasn't been working out.
Questions, commissioners?
Mr. Chairman,
Yeah.
when did he move into that position?
It would have been last year around July.
So you got 4 years. Okay.
Any further questions? Commissioners, what would you like to do?
Move to approve, Mr. Chairman.
Second.
Been moved and seconded to approve for the level 1 foreman for the Lander area, an increase of $3,100 to make that salary 62,000. Further discussion. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed.
My second SOC is for Cody Howard, and he took over the foreman position in Riverton. And he's only been here 2 years, which is why I was proposing to be a little less than Rick. So I was going, his pay is $56,900 right now. I was gonna raise it $4,600 to $61,500.
What was the total?
61,500.
Questions, commissioners? It's your pleasure.
Mr. Chairman, I move to approve the SOC adjustment as presented.
Second. We moved and seconded to approve SOC adjustment for the level 1 foreman in the Riverton shop. Further discussion. All those in favor? Opposed? Motion passed.
My last SOC is for Jerry Tucker. He's going from a level 3 mechanic to a level 4 lead mechanic. And his pay is $57,500 right now. And I'm gonna raise it $3,000 to $60,500. Okay. And that one's in between the 25 and 50 percentile one. That's the level 4.
Questions, commissioners?
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, so your chart only shows level 1, 2, and 3. You have a definition for each of those levels, including level 4?
Yes.
Okay. Managing.
Yeah, on that.
Oh,
There. Did you get that one?
well, it might be on the back.
Sure.
Yep, there it is. Okay.
Yep.
I get you. Okay. That's all of my questions. Move to approve this SOC adjustment for the level 4 lead mechanic.
Second. Been moved and seconded to approve SOC adjustment for the level 4 mechanic. Further discussion. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed.
I just got some accidents.
Okay.
So the first accident, the sheriff officer hit a bridge over on Honor Farm Road. And he
Was it bumping?
wasn't moving. He was trying to get on the bike path, I guess. So we had two bids, and Olson's Auto Body was cheaper with $5,000.86.
Just over our deduction.
Uh-huh.
86 cents.
86 cents, yeah.
Yeah.
When was this?
It was in March, I think.
Commissioners. Questions?
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, so that was weird. He's trying to get onto a bike path with his car, a bike bridge.
Yeah, like on Honor Farm, there's the rail trail.
Where's the trails?
Yeah, they were looking for somebody that ran away from somewhere. He was gonna drive down there. I guess they do it all the time.
Okay, it's just, there's some of those bridges I wouldn't even drive,
Mhm.
let alone put my bike on it. Okay. All right. What was the total again?
$5,000.86.
Mr. Chairman, I move to approve the bid for the repair of the vehicle at $5,000.86.
Second. Been moved and seconded to approve payment of that repair bill, $5,000.86. On the motion, no, of that, in that motion that will come out of the sheriff's budget. Further discussion. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed.
Okay, the second accident, so this one's kind of different. So the officer pulled a truck over that was in the wrong lane. And when he parked to get out and go talk to him, the guy let his truck and semi roll back and hit the sheriff's truck. And then it looked like it just needed to pop together. So we took it apart, pop it back together, but there was some plastic clips and stuff broke. So we checked on parts. They ordered them and sent them to us instead of just giving us a price. We had them, so we put it together real quick and sent it out, but this will go to the truck driver's insurance. I don't know if you guys need to go through it
How
or,
much?
with all of our work and the part. Was $2,902.78.
And Mr. Chairman, so Jared, does this put you over budget?
No.
On this line item?
No, none of these will come out of this will be paid for.
You had some expenditure, but we'll get reimbursed.
Yeah,
And then does that get tied back up, to go back to the maintenance department if we get that reimbursement? How does that work?
normally they go back into the general fund, kind of like the ambulance
Okay.
payments, so.
But we do have a budget for you to, we'll do that stuff,
Repair, yeah.
and it doesn't put us over.
Yeah.
Mr. Chairman, if we needed to do a budget transfer for him, we could do those things. We could go, but I would work with Jared, say, what kind of revenue have you received? And we can always go from there instead of the cash reserve.
Okay, I don't know if we need to, it doesn't seem like we need to approve this.
No.
Okay, thanks, for the heads up.
But good,
Well, we'll see you at 1:30.
okay, thank you.
Thank you. Amanda?
Morning, Chairman and Commissioners. How are you guys today?
How are you?
Good. I was coming here with the monthly update for the Clerk of District Court. Just kind of letting you know the progresses, what we're up to, the different things that are taking place. And so This last week, I did end up going down to Cheyenne to sit in on the Joint Judiciary Committee with legislature for the interim topics that are happening. Some of them will directly affect my office, some of them won't. So it was a pleasure to be there, first of all, and second of all, to address some of the issues that are coming down the pike. So, there's different laws taken into effect. There's different things that they're looking at that I do believe that it's important that at least I'm informed on and can move forward with. So out of that meeting, I think it turned out to be a fair assessment of what they're looking at with court records, those things. Actively working with the Clerk of District Court Association and other stakeholders that are currently involved in everything with e-filing to the electronic record to, what we see on a normal daily basis. So I am working with that. I have also sent out for the position in my office to be covered. So we're advertising and looking at new people to step into my office. That's pretty exciting, to say the least. There's different things that we're moving through on a daily basis, but I think we're making progress when it comes to terms of making sure that rules and statutes are aligned to fix some of the loopholes that come into having a record that was so old and making it electronic. So all forward progress. Definitely a lot of time spent to make sure that it's adequate and it's appropriate for this day and age. So that's always been good. I'm also currently working with a few of the Supreme Court or judicial branch committees on certain items. I know that right now we're speaking of budgets. Well, budgets are across the state. So looking at things that are needs and wants for what actively takes hold of programs, those type of things within my office, and making sure that it's aligned correctly with what we need to function versus some of our wants out there. So that's basically what I've been up to. I just thought I would update you guys to make sure you know I still exist in that other side of the building. And
how was did they ask your opinion on any topics in Cheyenne?
There was we were actually the Clerk of District Court Association was on the agenda to speak to public access through the judicial branch. And so when we look at that, there's two things that we're actually looking at. Currently, anyone's allowed to come to the courthouse to listen in on hearings that are not of a confidential nature. We have the public access terminals. I'm still working on getting mine up and deployed well. However, circuit courts do have the public access terminals, which accesses our record, so that people have that authority to go in and look throughout any courthouse in the state to see something that's going on contingently with their cases. There's also live streaming features and stuff that are accessible through some courtrooms, depending on the nature of the hearing again. So we have public access that's available. And then there's the conversation of remote public access and what that looks like. And how we forwardly progress with that. Across the United States, there's different avenues in which different states look at remote public access and what would be available to the public on, say, an online terminal. So it's in the beginning stages. It's going to be an ongoing topic that legislature may pick up. There's an appetite for it. It's just how and when that takes place and what that looks like to the general public. So that's kind of what we spoke to based off of, the medium that I work with on a daily basis, which is everyone's legal record. Definite there's a definite need for a lot of people to look into this to make sure that it's functioning well and it's not just something that's deployed that has a different feeling. You know, we have some states that really look into remote public access as what is called like a register of actions. And that's what's in the court record. It's our docketing list of what's available, and they only have that. And then they have people contact the clerk of district court. Some people have just final orders. Some people have a charge that's costing to it. Some people that don't do that altogether. So it's where the money is particularly coming from, whether that be from, you know, monies provided by the legislature, whether they look down and say, hey, Amanda, you need to do this. So it's taking that global view and probably narrowing it down to what's appropriate and if it's something that will move forward or not.
Questions, commissioners? When are we gonna see you? Oh, today?
Stay at 3:15. It will be glorious.
Yeah. Obviously.
I knew it. I knew it.
Any other questions? Okay.
Right. I appreciate your time. Thank
very
you.
much. Okay, let's go with the scholarship.
Yeah, it's ready to go.
Commissioner Chairman, Wyman, are you waiting for this? Yeah. I'll give it to him. Okay, thank you. Yes. Commissioner Thomas.
Unless you'd like me to do it.
You want to do
No. It's your turn, Miss Ray.
Chairman, dealing with County Commissioner Scholarship 2026. It looks like the three recipients in this order will be Jasper Buletter, Addison Hurt, and Pauline Harris. The alternate will be Rosalinda Ramos, Tatum Tyra, Dylan Wagner. Those are the alternates. And the renewal scholarship will go to Gracie Holbert. Those are the County Commissioner Scholarship for 2026.
Mr. Chairman, I move to approve that record there of who the scholarships are in the alternates.
Second. We move the second to approve the scholarship awardees and the list. Jasper Bettler, Addison Pert, and Pauline Harris, alternates Rosalinda Ramos, Tatum Tyra, and Dylan Wagner. And the recipient for the renewal scholarship is Gracie Culver. Further discussion.
Mr. Chairman, just as usual, the caliber of our students that applied for this scholarship is just remarkable. Some excellent students, some folks that could use a little help. There's a lot of different group in there, but I would say every single one of them was a struggle to make that decision, and I want to say thanks to all those that put in for that application.
Yeah. Thank you. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed. Julie, you want to do vehicle policies?
No, I forgot to send it out to you, sorry.
Okay. We'll do that next week.
Yes, I will send it,
Okay.
sorry. Well, if you want to, next week is supposed to be just budget hearings.
Okay.
So if you want to, we certainly can, that'd be great. I
Well,
can
we
get that out to
can,
you.
we can wait until the first.
That's June.
2nd of June.
Yeah, sorry, and I think our procurement policy, Nathan and I have been busy on a lot of things. We haven't captured each other to do the procurement one either, so we'll try to round that one up and see what, you had some notes or something.
Mr. Chairman, I just have really one change,
Oh, okay,
so. Running forward with everything.
okay.
Okay,
We can meet. Your preference.
How big is the change?
2 words.
2 words? Hey. You want to
yeah, let's do
pursue
it.
that?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay.
We don't have to wait 2 weeks.
Our auditors will love us. We'll do this. While he's looking that up, I did look up all the statutory citations and made sure the words were still the same, which they were not, so I did update that too.
Yeah, my only change is section 3B.
B,
3B.
okay,
6 on page 7.
okay,
The last sentence. So and we've come up against this before, when regarding press value. I'd like to add after location, comma, to include vendor / contractor reputation. This gives us a little more leeway when we're viewing proposals, and if we know we have a bad contractor that's performed poorly in the past, despite the fact that they submitted the lowest bid, we don't have to accept.
okay, it was after location,
Yes.
okay. That's a perfectly good one for me, so.
Other than that,
Okay.
Sorry.
That's all right, Mr. Chairman, that's all, I think last week mentioned that they didn't have too many changes on this, and that was, we're just waiting for Nathan, so if you'd like to approve, maybe you should approve the sound system.
Yeah.
Anyway, you could maybe approve the procurement policy now.
Questions, commissioners? What's your pleasure? Page 7, we said,
Yeah. Page 3B.
page 7.
Page 7.
Yes, page 7,
3B.
3B, last sentence.
Okay. Further discussion.
Don't have a motion yet.
Motion.
Motion,
Yeah.
Mr. Chairman, I move to approve our procurement policy as presented with changes recommended.
Second. Been moved and seconded to approve the procurement policy with the changes as amended. Further discussion. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed.
thank you.
Okay.
Hey, Mr. Chairman, thank you for all your work.
Scott?
Yep.
Scott?
Yes.
We're ready for you. If you're ready, Rowena, come on up.
Hanging out with him.
Well, come on up. Once you get here, please introduce yourself and let's see, please.
Hi, good morning. My name is Scott Comers. I'm the vice chair of Riverton's Mercy House.
I'm Rowena Bland. I'm the treasurer of Riverton's Mercy House.
So today we are asking, we have a project that we are involved in at Mercy House in Riverton. So I'll give you a little bit of a background quickly about it. Riverton's Mercy House was formerly the Good Samaritan Shelter in Riverton, which was a homeless shelter and a detox, not really a detox center per se, but they did take intoxicated individuals. I am a retired police officer from Riverton, so I had a lot of experience with the Good Samaritan Shelter and what the work that they did and stuff. So I was pretty excited when this project came up because the Good Samaritan shelter closed in 2018, I believe it was, and the detox center over in Riverton. A lot of things changed as far as how we were dealing with homeless individuals and intoxicated subjects who were walking around town and stuff like that. So we decided as a board that we would take up this project as looking at this situation and this problem and trying to help. And so as a board, we started the process of trying to get this going. We were rather quickly gifted the Good Samaritan shelter because it was possessed by Eagles Hope over there at the time. And Eagles Hope saw what we were attempting to do, and so they gifted the property to us. That was in 2024, late 2024. So since that time, we have been in the process of getting assessments and refurbishing the modular house on the project and getting some input from state entities on how to proceed with this project. So we've talked with brownfield grants. I guess it's SPUR. It's the State Partnership for Urban and Rural Redevelopment. And they have teamed with us. They sent up a team from Cheyenne. They had people from all over Wyoming and I think South Dakota, surrounding states. So it's an entire team that came in, toured the site, sat down with some of the board members and gave them an idea on what our projection was and what our project wanted to look like. So what we have, what we're approaching you for is not for any funds, which probably maybe, which may be kind of a surprise, but what we're approaching is for you to sponsor us for WCDA grants. So I've been in contact with Casey Hurlis with WCDA. And some of the things that we have to do is for one, it has to be oversight by a governmental entity. Right now in Fremont County, the governmental entities are city and county governments. We did talk to FTAG about it. I was told by Casey Hurlis, who is in the head of the WCDA, that they are not eligible for us for oversight for us. So we are going to put in a letter of intent to the WCDA on a grant for movement forward on this, and where we see this happening, or what we see happening with it right now would be for demolition of a building that's on site that is old and dilapidated and not really something that we would be able to refurbish, because they did tell us that they could refurbish that, but it's an old 2-story structure that used to be a laundromat, and it's just not something that we think would be real efficient for our project. So the first step would be to demolish that and clear the site for new structures and stuff, which would be further granting that we would seek. We do have a little bit of a presentation. I didn't have an opportunity to make any copies, so I'll give you this, Mr. Chairman, that you can take a look at. This is some of the projected things that we had from the people from Brownfield, and they will be working with us on a grant. The method of distribution is we have to submit a letter of intent. I think in June that opens up. So we would submit a letter of intent to apply for the grant, and then by September 30th, we have to submit a package, that they outline, and then we would, be notified in January of 2027 whether or not we would be successful in that grant. They have told us, the team, there's some of the team members on the last page that they've told us that they believe that we would be highly recommended for success for the grant. So we would be looking to supply, or not to supply, but we would be looking, our mission is to supply shelter, food, and further, what am I thinking? Further counseling in the future for people who are experiencing homelessness and drug abuse and alcoholism and those types of problems. So we would be working in conjunction with our law enforcement partners to house people rather than them having to transport them over here to the county facility for holding, that they would be able to possibly be housed at our facility and have a better chance of getting some options for recovery and continuation that way. So
we have accomplished a lot in the last year and a half that we've been working on this. We have remodeled the modular building. It's ready for move-in. We have raised, we last year at our fundraiser, we raised $35,000. This year, we raised 92,000, I believe. I don't have all the final numbers in yet, but we are ready to open our doors to get the start moving people off the streets and into some sort of something that makes more sense for all of us, for the city, for the county, for the individuals, and giving them hopefully a path forward to getting back on their feet in the direction that we need them to, that they would like to go. You can't make anybody do anything. You're not going to have 100% success. We know that going in, but if we can save people from dying on the streets, which is what's happening at this point in time, that's what we'd like to do. We are prepared to open our doors pretty soon to get that started, and the sooner we can get our doors open, the sooner more doors are going to open. I have applied for food from the Wyoming Food Bank, so our original budget did have food in the budget, but the Wyoming Food Bank, we've already been approved, but we can't receive any of that food until our doors are open and we're actually servicing people. Now, we have gotten food donations from some local people that have donated different types of food, so we are prepared to open with some food available right now. There's food in the freezer, there's food in the cabinet pantry, so there's a start, and more will come, I know. So I can't think of what else.
I think as she stated, we've made considerable steps. Obviously, the first one would be we obtained a property at no cost, which was a huge step forward. It's a property that's already zoned. We've talked to the city council and everything. It's zoned residential, but there is an exemption for that facility. So there's no problem with continuing the same work that we have already had at that place. Are any of you familiar with the WCDA grants at all? Do you have any questions on that?
So it would be according to my notes, it would be a pass-through grant. You apply for the grant, you get the application, if you get the funding, then the county would receive the check,
funds,
if you
yes.
will. And then
And
you
then you
submit,
build it.
yeah, you submit
Yes,
receipts and so on and so forth. Would the county also be responsible for monitoring the grant as far as
My understanding is yes, to making sure that we comply
Right.
with that.
right,
Obviously, it's not up to you, it's up to us, but we just make sure, you just make sure that we're doing things properly.
how much ballpark figure would you be asking for in the
For
grant?
this first phase, it would probably be under 100,000 at this point in time, just to demolish the building and clear the site. We did have some estimates, last year. Let me go back a little bit. Last year, we were talking with the city on this. If you, since I'll just give you some information on the WCDA. It does not have a funding cap. And each governmental entity is allowed to submit a maximum of 2 applications for a funding cycle. So the city already had 2 funding cycles, so they could not help us that way. So we did talk to FCAG about that. They were willing to, but like I said, WCDA said they are not eligible. So our other outlet would be you, just to facilitate the grant so that we could have the funds and be able to move forward on that.
I need to say something because I think that the demolition of the building, because that's what we're doing here, right?
Correct.
Applying for, I thought that was like 250,000. If my memory's not as good as it once was, so,
Well,
but I think that that's what it was, and I think our bid came in, the one bid that we got came in at 200.
Okay.
Just
And
under
I must be mistaken then.
so your
Other
grant
further-
application would be
200, I would
Yeah.
guess 250,000.
right.
As I said, WCDA doesn't have a grant cap on it, so we would have all of those estimates redone. Just because it's been a year since we've been out of that cycle. We'd have all of those done and of course, we would update you all with that information as well. And keep that string going, but, I thought it was lower than that, but she might have a better idea than that.
She's the bookkeeper.
Yeah, yeah.
That doesn't
She's
always
the
mean.
treasurer, that's why she's the treasurer, and I'm not. Numbers are different to me.
Well, I applaud you for stepping up and trying to get something done. Riverton really needs it. Just this morning, I seen a guy walking down the road with his bedroll and, you could, I shouldn't profile, but I mean, he looked homeless and appeared homeless and
And that's
he
what,
may have more money than I have.
Yeah.
Which is, say,
I know what you mean. We have gotten some, I just wanted to share with you that we had gotten a few grants. We got a grant from the city, earlier last year for $10,000 from the, tax thing. It was the edge funds in Riverton. I don't remember what
Oh,
it was
yeah.
called throughout. So we did end up with $10,000 from that they required us to spend on remodeling, and we had to hire one person, which we have done. So we have now waiting for, we put a grant in for the, what's the grant with the city right now?
oh.
Services, contract for services. For $100,000, we're waiting to see what that's going to. And somebody told us that we should come and see you guys about the contract for services somehow too. I don't know what that means, but, this is for something.
so with the modular that you're ready to open, will you have a full-time
Yes.
person staying
Yes.
there?
We have staffing. We have one staff hired right now. We now have the funds because of this dinner that we did have the funds to hire more staff. So our plan is to have 24/7 staffing, 2 people each shift. We need, we're not sure how often we're gonna need female
Right.
And it's, open to everybody. It's not any individuals. It's, anybody who needs it. The need is the only
Yeah.
requirement, so.
Mr.
Yes.
Also, Ro, you said that there was you couldn't get food and
I said I couldn't get food.
needs, right,
I can't get the food bank
right.
until the
So
doors.
who, if people wanted to donate, who do they contact?
Well, they
to
can
help
contact
you?
either one of us.
They,
And
yeah, they
So, I
can
mean,
contact.
if
the-
that was out there, I think people would bring you
Yeah.
food, seriously.
And that is one of the issues that we presently have right now, because we're not open. We have a lot of people that do want to
You
donate.
need,
Yeah, they want to donate food. Some of them want to donate a little bit of time. Some of them want to donate services, for, helping people raise gardens. So these are projections that we have, as far as how we're moving forward is, to give these people that we're servicing, give them something to look for or to do in the future, to help them work with other entities such as Eagles Hope, Set Free Church, and those entities who provide additional services that we might not be able to cover initially or at all. And so we're networking with groups of people, so that we're not trying to do everything, that we provide certain things, and then we try to assist them to get to another step in their recovery program. So we're not looking to just look for them to have some place where they can just come overnight and stay, and we don't want a flop house, put it that way. We're looking for something that is effective, and believe me, as law enforcement, we've tried a lot of things. We've tried arresting our way through the problem. That doesn't work. It's a huge jail bill for whoever picks them up, I mean, in Lander, I remember there were several months that our jail bill would be super expensive. In the tens of thousands of dollars for, 1 month. And we just can't sustain that. So we're not looking to try to just look for some place for somebody to stay, but that's where we begin their process of recovery. And so that's what we're trying to do, is get them on the road to recovery and becoming, successful members of the community, so that they're providing something for themselves.
you have my phone number. We can get you Scott's phone number, but we also have a website and a Facebook page.
okay,
So,
see what it is, because you're on camera.
RWY Mercy House at gmail.com is the email address. The Facebook page is, I don't know if it's Riverton's Mercy House or Mercy House. I think it's Riverton's Mercy House. And then it will take you to the web page.
They can Google that.
Yes, we're on there. And again, they can contact me. Most people know how to get a hold of me one way or another.
Commissioner. Chairman. So it's pass-through grant. My question is, again, maybe you answered this, but City of Riverton as a governmental entity, they didn't want to do this?
No,
pass-through
they were
grant?
unable to.
Why is that?
Because for the grant, governmental entities can only facilitate 2 grants per year. And they have 2 grants that they are.
They already have 2 pass-throughs already?
Pardon me?
They already have 2
Yes.
pass-throughs already?
Yes.
Yeah, they've got 2 projects that they're already involved in, so they can't apply for another one.
Any question?
Mr. Chairman, the only, if you want us to be the support of that program, do you have some sort of documentation that you'd send us so we would understand what that means? And what our responsibility would be in that. A lot of times if we're, if a lot of times they're asking us to have pass-through funds go through our treasury, and we want to make sure we understood how all that was supposed to work and what our responsibilities were.
Certainly. I don't know that we have that documentation, but that would be something that we would certainly provide to you. So that you understand all of your responsibilities and we understand our responsibilities. And, you know, we might need to sit down and figure out, you know, how we're supposed to report to you or what we can do, and so that you're not thinking that you have to do more than you do. We're not afraid of work.
Yeah.
We'll do the work. You know, we're just asking the commissioners to
Be the
help us get
administrator.
to get the job done. So,
Mr. Chairman, and my memory is really fuzzy here, but FCAG used to, have, they used to be Ray Keith would administer the community block grant.
Right. And
And that changed into, morphed into some other entity. Is that entity still not in place?
the community block grant changed its designation of how that could be used.
Right.
And so they don't apply for that CMPG.
Yeah, there was a new entity formed, and that's my question is FCAG. I remember I back when I was on FCAG a year or so ago, somebody came in and presented and had all this stuff they were doing, and I don't remember the name of them, but it was some sort of community group, and I just wondered how they're connected, if they even exist anymore, those exchange, I get it, but you know what I'm talking about?
No.
Okay, I'll do some research and see if I can figure out what that was and what happened to it.
we have spoken to TAG about some grants that they are able to apply for. That we're looking at applying for some of those grants too.
Yeah.
So at least from my perspective, and maybe Rowena can say different, but from my perspective, we are looking for assistance in getting the facility up and running, to speak. Not for money to run the facility at this point in time. We would love to be independent and not have to seek any grants. Perhaps in the future that might happen, but right now, we're not looking at that, you know, so we're looking at assistance that we can have from the state, from the federal jurisdictions, so that we can get the facility open and stuff. And the group of people that we are looking to serve are low income, low and moderate income individuals that are experiencing circumstances that may or may not be on their own ideas, but so we're trying to get something up and running so that we can assist people and show them that there is something better than what they're experiencing.
Right now, we can currently house 35 people in the modular.
35.
35. It's and it's for sleeping purposes and eating purposes. It's not a living space, so that's not exactly how it has to work, but part of it is, part of it isn't. The feasibility study that was done almost 2 years ago now, there were 89 men, women, and children in Riverton alone that were homeless. So and in the last 6 months, we've gotten 4 to 5, maybe 6 phone calls from parents, single parents, whether men or women, with children that had no place to go, and we had to refer them somewhere. We tried to send them to Wyoming Rescue Mission, but whom we've also partnered with. They have helped us through this. We're trying to emulate what they've done because they've been very successful. Since 1978, they started theirs, and they are pretty much self-sufficient at this point in time with the stuff that they've done and donors from the community. So their community fully supports them, and we hope to get to that point. We also know that there are other places in the county that have homeless people. And sometimes because of addiction or abuse or any number of things, you have to get out of this place. I live here, but I can't do any recovery here because all of the people that support me, that would support me, don't support my recovery necessarily, or a majority. The influence is, so we're trying to move people out of the influence. So sharing with Wyoming Rescue Mission, going back and forth that way, allowing people from Lander, Fort Washington, Du Bois, whoever needs the help to come and help. But by getting this building demolished, it opens up the ability for us to then move on to the next phase of the granting process through Brownsville remediation to build a campus, if you will, of different units. So you would have single men units, you would have family units, you would have single women units, you would have, and then, a showering house, dining area, the different, a sitting area, living space, if you will, where they can work on computers, looking for jobs, doing that kind of thing. I don't know if you all have ever seen Wyoming Rescue Mission. It's an amazing facility they have over there, and they are like in a 3 or 4 block radius. They've grown to that so much that they have, they have this apartment complex where you've been sober for a year. So you move into this single bedroom place with a shared kitchen, and you go to work every day, you come home and everybody shares in the chores and stuff. It's just, our dream is to get there. We're not gonna, in the space that we're at, I don't believe we'll be that big, but, if we could get something similar to that on a smaller scale, it would be ideal for
Or
the
even
county.
35 people
Yeah,
currently is a big.
significant. Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
So I think if you can follow up with us and provide that information, what our obligations would be to be a pass-through agency,
Okay.
and then we can continue this conversation.
Okay.
But we'll need that, and then when you schedule to get back on the agenda, we'll invite the treasurer as well,
Yeah.
because he would be doing, the distribution of the funding.
If I may, I want to speak in full disclosures. We're a faith-based organization.
Non-denominational.
Non-denominational. We're not going to, everyone would be welcome. But we want to make sure that you guys know that, so that we're not, seeking something. We would much rather not have the government involved, but we'd be foolish not to look for public funding that's available to us. So, we just don't want to have ties to where the government ties our hands to where we can't offer them a faith-based answer to their problem. And so that's really kind of what we're involved in.
Okay.
Nothing forced, nothing required.
Right.
But it's there if you want it.
If you need it.
But we don't.
Well, we all need
Yeah.
it if you want it.
There is if you go to the WCDA, can't speak, go to the WCDA, website, and I will provide a copy. It does say some of the things that, entities are required to do as well, so, but we'll go ahead and put that in layman's terms so that.
Yeah. And you can send the document, and you can send it to Emma.
Okay.
Prior to, so we all have a chance to review it, so
Okay.
before you get here.
All right.
And then we can continue this discussion.
All right. Very good.
Okay, anything further, commissioners? All right.
Thank
Well,
you.
Thank you for
Thank you
coming
very
in.
much. Appreciate you.
Okay, thank you.
That's okay.
With that, we will take a break and be back in Thursday.
Good for you.
And we need to go into executive session. We're gonna move that up for potential litigation.
Okay.
Maybe 10 minutes.
He always says that, teeth. So, he always says that, so you know at least 15, right? Right?
Do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
I.
Executive session. Close the
Okay.
He said he's almost here. He just.
Okay. Okay. One thing I do want to say in open session is County Kim reported that the commissioners were asking questions about data centers last week in our meeting
Right.
with Wyoming Business Council, and I want to point out that I was the one asking questions, and simply because I don't know the answers. You hear both sides to the story, and you hear about the water usage, the power usage, the noise pollution, the just everything, you know. Of course, bad press gets, you know, front and center published. And anyway, I was simply asking because I don't know the answer.
I'm doing a lot of research.
And we have no applications for data centers, and
No.
I just simply wanted to know. I'm not,
Very much.
at this point, this board is not considering any applications or any news about that. So, anyway.
Great.
So, meeting reports and concerns, Commissioner Thomas.
Chairman, really nothing at this time, for me.
No fair board meeting, no.
Well, okay, yeah, I'll go, had a fair board meeting and, everything's going quite well with the, movement of the fair, everything's in order, and, they are working on, coming up with a plan for the funding. And so they are getting everything in order and everything, going well, and essentially, orderly and so they are making contact with Julie, and they will, they know to come here if they need to, in the sense of, informing and communicating with the commission.
Commissioner Jones.
Mr. Chairman, I was out of town, so I missed the solid waste meeting and I missed the library board meeting. I've kind of missed a few meetings, so I'm slacking, lazy, and I should be driven from office at the end of the year, Mr. Chairman. Sorry.
We will oblige. Commissioner McCarty, Wilson.
I have.
You already put your name on
But after that.
Okay. Kyle, bring your helper up.
Is this bring your dad to work day?
Okay.
You can come up. We met the other day at your.
We'll be nice to your dad.
I don't blame him.
Kyle Butter.
You guys look mean.
We're not.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you, Commissioner. My wife picked up a shift to help somebody who was going to a funeral, and our little one was a little under the weather, so it's nice to have a visitor with me today.
Yeah, nice. I'll bring some fresh blood in politics.
Yeah, I told her this is where all the stuff happens.
Yeah.
The court's over there. We're not going to the court side.
You have to show her the jail where you visited several times.
Yeah, we won't talk about that.
Involuntarily.
Just know that side of me, yeah.
Okay, well, you have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Chair and Commissioners. I appreciate this opportunity to be in front of you. I wanted to follow up on the memorandum of agreement that has been discussed as it relates to the ballot question for the 3/4% economic sales tax. As you're aware, the ballot initiative has had the resolutions and appreciate the clarification that was recently made by this body to ensure that that was recommended as a 4-year proposition. But it's important now for the governing bodies to talk about how the funds, which will exclusively support ambulance, ground transportation, and commercial air service, be allocated amongst the governments. It's proposed that that be governed through a memorandum of agreement. The draft copy that you have before you outlines a few items that I'll just work through briefly. It's important to note that in this agreement, it details how the funds which are collected by businesses are redistributed to our local governments. The taxes are collected again by the businesses, remitted to the state of Wyoming, and the Wyoming Department of Revenue per statute distributes the proceeds of the tax by percentage of population to the county and the municipalities. From there, the municipalities have the obligation to meet what is proposed in the ballot initiative to only use the funds for the purpose of ambulance, commercial air, and ground transportation or buses. The agreement states that the parties will create a restricted fund or line item to handle these proceeds of the tax. And I think that's important to alleviate the concerns of our constituents, that the funds will only be used in the way that they were voted upon. The agreement states that no part of the tax shall be transferred to any of the parties' general funds. So in the instance of Riverton, Riverton could not utilize the proceeds of this potential 3/4% tax to support its water operations, its general fund operations, or anything of that nature. It would only be as restricted by the vote of the people. The agreement underlines that the net proceeds will only be used for the three core services I've already mentioned, and then it details that 54% of the parties' proceeds would be distributed monthly to the Fremont County Treasurers for ambulance services. 31% of the party proceeds would be distributed again monthly to the city of Riverton to support commercial air service. And then 15% of the proceeds would be distributed monthly to the Fremont County Association of Governments for ground transportation. That would largely be WRTA, but also there's opportunity to support senior centers and other ground transportation options with those funds. This agreement is, I think, very streamlined. I think it's clear and it's simple, but it's simple for a reason. When we're asking our neighbors to tax themselves, we want to be as clear as possible with how the funds will be used. And we should use the funds for the purposes voted by the people. It shouldn't create an excess of funds. We shouldn't be overtaxing our people. And so therefore it's outlined to cover the core services voted on and potentially approved. I'd like to note that as we get into just the general provisions of this proposed agreement, that the effective date is after the signatures are secured, but also after the 3/4% optional sales tax is passed. If it doesn't pass, obviously this agreement is null and void. The term as it's currently written is that it remains in force until the optional 3/4% tax is defeated. That could be changed to a more firm expiration date of a year at which the parties could re-examine the agreement. That would be up to you as a governing body if you'd like to do that. I think it's important to note that this agreement can be amended, but only if it's mutually agreed upon by all of the parties through written instrument executed and signed by all parties to the MOA. You as a governing body and the other governing bodies that would step into this agreement, if they so choose, would also be responsible to amend that. And it can't be a majority vote. It can't be the vote of another entity. It is of the governing bodies who are a party to this agreement. I like to point out the purpose of this clause can be helpful in the future as service levels may change as it relates to ambulance, or the cost related to the services for any of the three identified could be appropriately adjusted through this memorandum of agreement. Finally, outside of some of the general provisions as far as retaining governmental immunity, third-party beneficiary rights, severability, there is a paragraph as it relates to the right to audit the records. The parties to the MOA shall have access to any books, documents, papers, or records which are pertinent to the MOA. This is important because I know all of us are committed to transparency. And again, when we ask the people to tax themselves, they should be confident in how those funds are used. While this audit clause is there, it's important, but it should be noted that
Yeah, sometimes it fades in and out.
that's okay. So it's important to note that,
Excuse me, could you get a little bit closer to the mic there?
yeah,
There we go.
that's a little better. Thank you,
Better?
Commissioner.
Yeah.
Sorry about that. So while that audit clause is in there, keep in mind that all of these funds run through public entities and are subject to open record law, public record requests, and anyone from the public can make a request to see how the funds are used by any of the parties. With that brief rundown, Commissioner, I'll stand for any questions, but I thought it'd be helpful to just run through what is proposed currently in that MOA.
Kyle, I know you invited me, Commissioner Wilson. Were you able to?
Trying to get a hold of you, but I apologize for that vacation.
And I met with Commissioner Fabricius, and Commissioner Jones was out of town, and Commissioner Thomas was unable to get with you. So, do we have any questions?
No, Mr. Chairman, do you
Yeah.
want to state something?
I'm glad that you stated that this, some concerns was that the MOU could just be changed willy-nilly by a majority vote. That's not true. It has to be 100%. So I think that's good. So it just can't be outvoted by one or the other. So, and the other thing, if this does pass, well, the people of Fremont County, if they so choose to have the tax, it's not just them paying tax. This tax also gets paid for anybody who is visiting here and purchasing things. So they also use our ambulances. They use a lot of things here. So they're paying for it too. So I just wanted to put that out there. It's not just because people get in their head that this is like property tax or I'm the only one paying this or whatever. It is not. This is anyone who comes into the county who is visiting here, purchasing taxable items. So put that out there.
Commissioner Thomas?
Chairman, the only thing I see, and I don't know, it's been my issue with the issue of okay, but you know, as for now with the memorandum and the issue of governing bodies, I would suspect that maybe someday the name of the Nome Arapaho Eastern Shorty tribal governments would be up here is at some point in my time, meaning before I die. Because in that, at some point, Fremont County as a whole has to see and has to understand that both the Northern Arapaho and Eastern Shorty tribes have governments, and those governments are part of the governing bodies of Fremont County. And in that, their people are voting people, and they have a right to everything that everyone else has in this county. And in that, for a long time, when I came here 40 years ago, it was like they weren't even existent. It was like they were there, but they weren't a part of Fremont County. They are a part of Fremont County. And in that, I would hope that at some point, in our agreements, in our MOUs, they will be a part of this in the future. But as for this, that's all I have.
Commissioner Jones?
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, I think the obstacle to that, Commissioner, is who collects sales tax. And I know they've wrestled with that in the past. I think that would be the issue to put in front of them. Say, if you collect, then we'd have there would be no restriction whatsoever in my mind that they'd be part of this. Because they'd be collecting sales tax and that mechanism would just flow through. So I think this is well constructed. It solves a lot of the problems we've wrestled with ourselves. So it's pretty good.
Thank you. So, I mean, I agree. I think once this MOA is approved, we move forward with it and get the rest of the signatures from Riverton, Lander, Town of Du Bois. Um, I and put this out there so the public can see it. I think it would clear up a lot of misconceptions, and it would show that good faith that that taxable funding will pay for those items only in this document.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
also, and the transparency is very critical, especially after that 3/4% deal. So, that's it, sorry. And that was just, yeah, so people, we really, and I don't blame them. I was one of them, you know, I just discussed it with them. So, I just really, like the transparency a lot better. People have a lot better understanding, clearer understanding with this than before. So if they so choose, it's up to them, how they want it, but I like that part too. So it's important to have that. Okay.
So what's your next step, Kyle? Yeah.
Can I just add something? So I think just watching the last MOAs that have gone through, again, I mentioned it before during that time, your citizens look at a ballot and they think that's it and it's never gonna change. And so they come to us and when they want to gripe and say, tell me what the ballot language was. So I would suggest in there that you have a 30-day comment period if you're gonna change anything. So it has to go out. People have time to review it, have time to comment on it because they don't get to at the polls. So that's the only thing I didn't see in there. If you could put some kind of a comment. During a good time. Thank you.
Yeah, that is a good point. If people don't, I mean, we get the notices from FCAG and so
Right.
on and so forth, or we'll get a phone call from the mayor here and there and say, hey, we got an issue or we want to discuss this at
That's
the
what I
next
heard.
FCAG meeting. Well, the public isn't privy to that information and they don't see it, but I think that's a great idea.
Yeah, I do too.
Okay,
Yeah.
so if we could
Add
add
that
that,
to it.
what's your next step? You have to take it to all city councils?
Mr. Chairman, yes, you are my first stop. I appreciate this opportunity to run this by you. The city of Riverton is hearing it tonight. I'm grateful that we have representatives from the city of Lander here as well, because they'll need to consider this or choose to consider it. So we'll work with each of the municipalities, but you are the first governing body to really discuss and review this. We can add in language under the amendment clause that it would be after a public hearing. And that would allow you as a governing body to have a public hearing before you propose an amendment to this agreement as a party to it. And then also the governing bodies could have that public hearing if that's what you would like.
So, once you meet with the respective city councils and get their approval, then you'll come with it. With that,
Or input.
you'll come back to us with a copy to sign and we'll have that discussion there.
Perfect.
Any further
Okay.
questions? Commissioner?
Mr. Chairman, just for mechanics and logistics, probably the comment period should probably flow through the county. Because everybody this pertains to is a county person. And so rather than imply that we're gonna go through 7 different public hearings, there'll be one. So that change would then come through here. We would have the public comment period. We would have entertain that comment period here in the commission chambers rather than imply that we're going through municipalities. That would be the only mechanical thing.
Mr. Chair, maybe for my own clarification, we're talking about an amendment to this agreement because the ballot obviously would not be changed through that hearing. And so you're saying as each party would have to agree to an amendment to this there would be one 30-day comment period where you as the governing body for Fremont County would receive those. I would think
Just
that the
under
other
the
governing
amendment
bodies
section.
would like
Just
that
under the
too.
amendment.
So just under the amendment section, under 8 in general provisions,
Mhm.
I think you just had that language right there.
Okay.
You've already got the start of it.
Okay.
That's good.
Anything further? We'll let you finish, right?
Thank you. I appreciate your time.
Thank you, Kyle.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming over.
Thank you.
I hope she gets feeling better. Pretty pale. Julie.
Sorry, I didn't get this to you last night. Worked on it last night, but I didn't get out to you last night. Been talking about our administrative assistant, which I share with you, the cost of, I share with you, so some of this would affect your budget as well. So, the administrative assistant that we've had here, as you know, has been taking on more duties. I have talked to you about her HR certification that she got. She also got a bachelor's degree in business administration, which all helps a lot of things we do here. So if you see on the job description where I updated it, and it's not totally complete because I forgot a couple things that she had sent to me. But the things in yellow are things that we've added on, and they might look like not a lot, but it's been a lot in her duties. And so far, she keeps up with what we're doing, what I'm asking her to do, and you're asking her to do very well. So I just kind of briefly want to run over it. So when she first started over here, it was to take care of what we do here for everything from A to Z for what the county commissioners do. She learned that process very well. So when your longtime administrative assistant decide to really retire, that was just almost seamless. I mean, between Emma and I looking at what we used to do and giving her some leeway to do things differently, it just the transition was fast. It was almost like I didn't have any time in there that I had to worry about what we were forgetting or whatever. Emma's done a really good job there. With her new duties, we've added so she's has access to the budget system, and while it's baby steps right now, she's even helped somebody the other day get a new password, although that didn't work, not your fault, but she dived right in, found out how to do that. She's very technically inclined with this offering, but she is the one working with people on budgets to get them to you, and I'm continuing what I do. Hopefully I'm going to have her do budget book creation. That's wholly brand new, but those are things that I can push off to somebody who's already doing things. The job description for the HR specialist assistant is what I found. It has in there that it's a compensation benefit analyst part to it, which is kind of what she's doing. She's pulled over all the SOC stuff. She's been working with people, and actually I felt bad that Steve was saying this morning, I did tell the elected officials in a couple meetings that SOC stuff was available. Yes, we were working on the whole process. She had most of it done. The hang up was me. But I did find this morning an awesome piece that she had worked together and asked her to send it out to all of her departments. It teaches you how to do levels. I know she's helped people with levels. I've helped people with levels. And I think eventually we're going to get to a great place where people are really looking at their employees and seeing what their strengths are, or maybe not where their strengths are. And I think it'll be really good in the end. She's done a lot to do that. Let's see what else have we. So most everything we do here in the room with Zoom. we've told her we probably need a training course because she's right now might be the only one that knows how to do Zoom and set that up. And anybody who needs a meeting and needs that, she's pretty much the one setting that up. She's also trying to move things into a really positive direction for you by getting your stuff online, and hopefully that's working for you all to get on your drives and look at that stuff on there. Also, she took over the website, and even though we've had people come in that would normally take over the website, she kept that, and anybody who sends stuff to her, she does that. Pretty much, if you need help with advertising for your employees, she knows where to send those things and been doing that for folks too. Text My Gov, she's, I think, our only person besides me that has access to Text My Gov. And it looked like Facebook page that that was something I didn't have on here. So Facebook page too. So in saying all of that, currently for this position of just administrative assistant, she had already moved up to in the 10th percentile between level 2 and 3 at 46,000. But with adding another one there, if you look at the second page here, it's got a spreadsheet looking thing. I've taken both positions and pretty much looked at 50% of the time for both and add them together, divided by 2. And I would like to, at this point, give her an increase to 52,500, which is between level 3 in the 10th percentile and level 1 at 25 percentile. And that does affect your budget, so think of it that way as well. So,
Questions? There a motion to be made?
Chairman, I move to approve the SOC adjustment to the administrative assistant from 46,000 a year to 52,500.
Second. Moved and seconded. To increase that SOC just further discussion. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed.
thank you very much. Okay.
Heather?
Okay.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman and Commissioners. I also am sorry about the lateness of what I sent to you. I'm trying to get through my budget, and I also am trying to feel my way through this process. As you know, we started it about 3 years ago or 4. And I've tried to keep my staff paced with the levels that we've set. I did not send you the levels I have. I can do that. I didn't know how much paperwork you really wanted today. I have levels, I have job descriptions. We do evaluations yearly. The 3 new positions, the newer folks that we're raising, just so that Julie and Jim and I are on the same page. I should say clerk, treasurer, and assessor are on the same page. Those folks have not had evaluations yet. I guess the first order of business is one of those is vacant right now. I lost an employee to Weed and Pest 2 weeks ago. So that position is not currently filled. I'm asking to refill it, but I will not refill it until July. I don't want to bring somebody in the middle of appeal season and scare them to death. So I will wait until July for that. But that is one of the positions that I'm asking. Again, it's vacant right now, but I'm asking. I think the easiest thing to look at is the spreadsheet that I sent you. We can go through each individual person if you'd like. Well, not person, but I don't want to say names basically. The top of the chart is the vacant position that I had last year that I just didn't fill. I'm not asking to fill that again. And as we go through this, what I also want you to know is in moving steps, all of these people have taken on new roles this year. If somebody's unable to finish some personal property, they'll grab it, they'll process it, they'll go to the counter. I've got field people helping. So the cross training is huge for me. And all of these people are cross training. I've got 2 long-term employees who are planning retirement within the next 2 to 5 years. There's cross training going on with oil and gas. So each and as well as administration. So those people are moving levels by just learning as I still have the staff to teach them that knowledge. So, so what you see then is your first line is the vacant position right now, but I'm asking for that one to be increased to 1,400 to get the 3 offices here level with a hiring starting wage of 40,000, which would have the other 2 that are currently hired, been here less than a year, each of them, but are doing exceptionally well. Again, they're taking on different things as well. I would ask that each of those go to the $40,000 starting salary. Not moved a lot of levels on those, but I do have, if you would like to see them, I mean, we do have levels for the office appraisers as well as the field appraisers. I'm still outlining one for the GIS department. As you get down past those, you're gonna see a field appraiser, been here 8 years, has moved levels. Again, I have those levels here that they've moved. They're one that's taking on new roles, learning some oil and gas, learning how to teach some field appraisal work. I'm asking for a $2,500 increase on that. The next office appraiser's been here 5 years, but has jumped through the steps rather rapidly, both in education, supervisory, and administration parts of the job. Asking for a $3,000 raise for that position. The next position is a field appraiser that's been here for 15 years, is a permanently certified appraiser with education, also taking on all the roles. And you might ask, why do you have so many? Well, we were fortunate, Fremont County was, when the gentleman that's doing the oil and gas right now came aboard. And he did leave an oil and gas job to take less pay to be here, but that knowledge for 30% of our county valuation is invaluable. You can't just teach it to somebody in 1 year. So I've got multiple people trying to glean that knowledge and trying to learn the system of entering and understanding, as you saw through the contango appeal, the depreciation, the, economic obsolescence, those kinds of things. This one's also taken on some of that responsibility. I would ask for a $3,000 raise on that position. The GIS coordinator position, I think we're still in the phases of identifying that. Commissioner Jones and I have talked a little bit about that. I have some work to do on that, but that position has recently taken on, we have a new layer with the evacuation layers. We are going to get the new Schneider Global. This position has taken on solely that transition. That is on him. So that's a tough position. It's a tough position in the SOC world to find a definition for. Julie's helped. We've changed some things 3 or 4 times. It doesn't necessarily fit the mold of an appraiser, although he's got the appraisal experience. But I'm asking for a $1,200 increase there, knowing that maybe once we get fully functional with Schneider and some other things I've got planned right now, also working with the roads department on a 1-cent map for you, for when that comes around again, we can show on a map some of the changes that we've made. And then last but not least is a 19-year employee who does appraisal for the field, as well as administers the field, as well as does your oil and gas. Just completed. Not many employees can say they have won something at the Supreme Court, but was instrumental in that appeal, in preparing it, in testifying for it, and in understanding how we value that property. And those are all key components of what brought that win to Fremont County and the state of Wyoming in the way we value that equipment. I'm asking for a $3,000 raise there. The last time I did SOC adjustments, that person said, I don't want any, give it to the other employees. They need to be brought down or brought up from the bottom. This year, I feel like, however, a Supreme Court win and a constant handles all the commercial appraisal appeals in the office. You've seen him here. He's taken on that role. So all in all, what I'm asking for is an increase to my salary budget of 16,900 with those increases. Do I have that left over in this year's budget? I'm still working on my budget, but I promise, budget ladies, that you'll have it by Thursday. What's happened to me this year is throughout the year, I've had 3 different positions that I couldn't fill right away. You hire or you advertise and all of that. I will have money left there. What I need to work with Julie on is what the insurance looks like. I always get that number mixed up. Seems a little high what I might be turning back in, but I will have money to turn back in. Depending on how our budget discussion goes next week with the Schneider stuff. So, that's what I'm asking for. I have more information if you want me to send it to you about our levels, it has names on it so you can see as these people transition through what they're learning. The 2 newer employees we're all scheduled for coursework. That's the part I'm still trying to budget. Coursework, so those coursework hours will change. Their experiences will change. So that's what I'm asking for.
So, do you do evaluations on those employees?
Mr. Chairman, yes, we do. I have job descriptions and then we do evaluations every year. We have our steps. We're morphing our evaluation into what these steps are. I have them for every employee. I have their supervisors do them and they actually did the steps for their own, they analyzed themselves. And that was interesting, the discussions on that. So yes, Mr. Chairman, we do.
Questions, commissioners?
No, Mr. Chairman, just, so how many, your oldest field appraiser?
My most experienced, that's what I said.
The oldest.
My long time field appraiser. I introduced Eileen once as the old assessor, and she said, "Oh no, the previous assessor."
So you've got 3 other people that's also kind of trying to pick his brain and.
Mr. Chairman, yes.
Yeah, that's important.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm glad you're doing that.
Yeah, we're starting that training, and should I not be here next year, we have an election season. The one that I've moved, that's been here 5 years and is moving, is ready to, could manage most things. Has some work to do still on the sales analysis and that kind of stuff, but, could certainly manage components should I not, the people not choose to have me back there.
Well, a lot of that too is being a people person and communication.
Mr. Chairman, that's true. It's huge. And as you look at the levels that we presented to you last week, the clerk, the treasurer, and the assessor, what this inevitably does is it puts 2 current offices and the vacant one at the level 1. It puts of 10%. It puts 1 person at level 3 of 10%. It puts 2 people at level 1 of 25%. And then the one that we just talked about, the most experienced one with the oil and gas experience, that's tough because he's actually got 2 jobs. So when you look at that, you can break it down in its component parts, but that would put him at level 3 of the 25th percentile. So I've gained, my staff has gained through the SOC process. But it takes work. It takes diligence to see what levels and help them get those levels. But
Commissioner?
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, thank you. Yeah, that cleared up for me a little bit on the field appraiser because of the difference. So it's kind of a hybrid, basically.
Mr. Chairman, yes.
And I think that's a good explanation because that was the question I had. The other one I have questions about is the GIS coordinator. You know, that role, it seems like we struggle to define it, and we also struggle with what should it be. And I think that's an ongoing conversation because of what could that position be is As I think about it, it feels like we're trying to fit him into the, the lion's share of what he does, but what the person does. But they're almost like an IT specialist because their information, GIS certainly has certain skill sets around the geography and that knowledge base. But many times we use that position to put together, as a matter of fact, we put together some maps for the Rock Springs Management Plan and to overlay all the different SECs, that would not, what are they? What are those things? Eight, yeah, anyway. All those particular little things they want, and he was able to demonstrate graphically, and pardon me? Overlays? No, AECs. Oh. Areas of environmental concern. And we were able to overlay everything graphically, and we piped that out to the entire County Commission Association. And so that like, here's a graphic representation of overreach from the federal government. And so I see that and wonder if we could get a finer pencil on what that position partially is because of that nature. It is an information hub for us, and I think will become more so in the future because our reading average is sixth grade level in the United States. So graphics are going to continue to grow. And I'm joking a little bit, but I just wonder because that's where I struggle a little bit. I'm like, I know we throw GIS coordinator on there, but there's a different element to what that position provides us and will provide us in the future. So anyway, just that thinking out loud here.
Mr. Chairman, I appreciate that, Commissioner Jones, because I too have struggled. You and I have had a lot
Yeah.
of conversations
Yeah.
about what this position is, what it means to Fremont County, and what we need to be doing to further utilize that position. And it's hard right now. No other county has the GIS position in the assessor's office.
Mhm.
It's a good hub because that's where it starts. That's where the map server is. That's where those kinds of things are. But I would sincerely like to do an overview of that job position and see what things go in it. I've already started a little bit of a schematic about GIS, and then you've got emergency management, you've got the assessor, you've got planning. So I've got a little bit of a schematic. You've got Julie's office with elections. I mean, so I agree with you.
Especially with the capability of our new GIS software. It is way beyond what we've done. And it will become more informational in the future from what I can tell. So I think that's exactly what we ought to be doing. I'm comfortable with this for now, but just want to keep you active.
Mr. Chairman, I appreciate that. And I think as I do my budget presentation, you'll understand a little bit more when you look at the GIS position and what funding streams should go in there. That's where the Eagle View stuff should be. That's where the Schneider, I mean, those are things that the whole county utilizes. So it should be more, I think Commissioner Thomas did a beautiful job that day of saying, all these people utilize these things. Maybe it doesn't come from one budget, but it comes from different sources. And I think that opens the grant world. Sheriff's Department's already reached out to me after the Eagle View presentation and said, hey, I think we have a grant that could help pay for, I do have a quote from them on a yearly flight pattern. But can be in my budget presentation. But I think you're exactly right. That's where I'm trying to go, is let's look at this globally for the whole county and not just what the assessor's office needs. So.
Mr. Tom? Any comment?
No, listen. I'll have a comment.
Is there a motion to be made?
Mr. Oh, go ahead.
Looking to approve this SOC changes as stated for the multi-positions ranging from the field appraiser, or field appraiser, office appraiser, field appraiser, and GIS coordinator and field appraiser supervisor as stated by Herberg. Motion to approve.
Second.
Been moved and seconded to approve the SOC changes as presented by the Assessor Terra. Further discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? Motion passes.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And thank you for working up the SOC form. It was easy to click a box. So, appreciate that.
That being said, we will break for lunch and come back at 1:30.
Very good meeting.